Two merchants from Cambodia traveled to the Chinese Empire. This is the colonial era, before the West took over Cambodia. So, at the end of the 18th century, you had two merchants that arrived in the Chinese Empire. They were there for trade. So they arrived at a Chinese town. There's a lot of Chinese characters on the boards and on the houses. They thought, well, this is China, we should expect that. The people were relatively small, but then one of the guys told the other, dude, why are those women walking so crazy? Why can't they walk normally like women do? And after 2 days, the guys noticed that it was the norm for women to walk in such a weird way. And then one of the elders of that town told the two Cambodians that women's ankles are broken after birth, and later it heals in a wrong manner, so the women, well, their feet are not grown correctly. So they have deformed feet as a result of it. And the two Cambodians asked the elder, why is that? I mean, one of them told the elder, sir, a woman needs to have both her feet functioning. Not only in daily life, she needs to get water out of the well, she needs to wash clothes, she needs to cook. She needs to walk here and there. It's not only for that. As a mother, after she gives birth, she needs to look after her kids. And if one of the kids wanders off in the streets, she needs to be able to go after the kid. How are you going to do that when you can't even walk properly? Or what if a predator comes by, a child molester that shows interest in kidnapping a kid? Now women, when they see you're after their kid, mothers, something like that, when they see you're after their small kid, oh, they get triggered. And they go off at you and should even die, because even though their muscles are, relatively speaking, less heavy than the muscles of men, when they are triggered because you want to harm their kids, you better watch out. They're fast on with their legs, and once they get at you, they get at you. The elder said, I know that. Then the Cambodian asked about, elder, why then is it the norm that women have deformed feet here? And I see a few women who don't have deformed feet, but they are ostracized. They're treated as dirt. Some of them are prostitutes. What type of empire is this? Where physically healthy women are shunned, and women that are deformed are praised and desired. The elder said, well, this is how the way it is. Now what happened here? This is a parable to give unto you. I'm going to explain for it the following. What you see here, I've written this, I've drawn it, and I'm going to explain it. The human being has three core needs. The need for security, the need for safety, and the need to be relevant. Safety and security need to come first before relevancy can be established. Which is obvious. If your body isn't safe, your body can die off. And nobody wants that. So, safety and security, because the body has basic needs: food, water, fresh air, clothes, and those have to be secured so the body needs can be met. So safety and security are basic. Then comes the need for relevance, which is a psychic need or soulish need, which relates to the mental and emotional well-being of the human being. And those three needs are related to one another. Okay? If one of them is missing, if one of them isn't fulfilled, if one of them is not met, the human being is dysfunctional. Well, in the world which is run by pagans, which is run by pagan rulers, which is therefore founded on fear, the pagan rulers have their way of meeting the needs of the population. The need for safety is met through the military, and in a less intense way by the police. Security is met through the economy. All therefore you have financial institutions in the financial sector. The need for relevance is met through culture, through religion, art, and also by mainstream media, because we live in the present, and in the present the mainstream media is used for that. Between the need for safety and security, the legal system is used as a buffer to meet both needs when those needs are threatened. Between relevance and safety, you have the exact sciences, like the medical world, like chemistry, physics, the hard science. Okay? Between relevance and security, you have the social science, which is more called the soft science, scholarly work. And to keep this system going, you have institutions which enforce symbolic order. Symbolism refers to the need for relevance. And in the symbolic order, common people want relief. So is relief seeking. Let's see it here. Now, how does this work out on a population? Let's say you have a population of 2 million. Okay? Well, I believe, no, not Lithuania. Lithuania has over 3 million inhabitants, I think. But anyway, you take a country with around 2 million people. I'm just going to give an example here. And I've illustrated here also, so let me show it to you here. Okay. So 98% are just the common people, the people that go to the jobs every day or have their own business, just the common people out there, which is the most of the community, 98%. Then you have 2%, of which 0.1%, a very tiny minority, are the pagan rulers or the Apollonists. They are the priest class. Those are the ones who worship Apollo or Helios, whom the Bible in Revelation chapter 9 verse 11 calls the Antichrist. And the 1.9% consists out of the sellouts. Those are the ones from the common people that sold themselves out to the priest class or the pagan rulers of the world. Well, actually sold themselves out to demons, but it goes through the pagan rulers. And they end up often in high positions. Then you have the blue bloods or the trans elite. Well, I've spoken of blue bloods before. Those are family lines of devil worshippers who are led by the transgenders amongst them, because they are a trans elite. Not that they're all transgender, but that is how they operate. And the trans elite is led by the king or the emperor. And in the republican forms of government, you have the president. But sometimes it's behind the president that this operates. So the top 2%, they're the ones giving shape to that community, and the 98% just follows, just gets along. Now, if you have a country or maybe a federal state of 2 million, that would be around 2,000 belonging to the priest class. Well, that's a lot. In reality, that would be like 200 or 300 of them. But let's say for this example, say 2,000. Then you have 38,000 who are the sellouts, including the blue blood elites or the trans elites, and the king, emperor, whoever is head of that. And 1,960,000 just the common people. Now, why am I showing this? What this has to do with the example I gave before. When you want to keep a population under control, to exploit the population, you need to, you need to keep them in a state of fright, in a state of anxiety. Because in a state of anxiety, people can't think straight, they can't feel correctly, therefore they can't function physically in the right, they can't function physically as they should. When it comes to individuals, let's say you have a marriage where you have a narcissistic husband exploiting the vulnerable, the wife. As I mentioned before, the human being has a need for security, safety, and relevance. Let's say the narcissistic husband refuses to give affection to the wife. Therefore, the wife is violated in her need for relevance. And this will cause her stress because she then wants to fix it. She then begins to overcompensate to please her husband, think she's doing something wrong in the relationship. Then also, so her sense of security is attacked because now she wants to compensate to keep security because her need for relevance has been violated. So now she doesn't feel secure anymore either. So now she wants to hold on to security. And then from time to time the husband is kind towards her and she thinks, oh great. And by doing this in a routine way, the husband, I'm saying the narcissist now, binds her mentally to him. The brain releases dopamine every time the husband is kind and affectionate towards her. While the rest of the time, he's cold and distant. So what happens now, he is conditioning her to be addicted to this dopamine rush in the brain. So she becomes addicted to the dopamine rush in her brains. So she's becoming an addict without being aware of it. And this cocktail in the brain, that is what the narcissist is developing. And therefore, because of this, you have this trauma bond. And that's the bewitchment of the wife. So the wife can think, but she can't think clearly, especially when it relates to her husband. Because this brain cocktail is harmful to the body and she will eventually become physically sick. So her need for relevance has been violated, therefore her need for security also, and because there's no security, also safety is gone, because she's physically sick after a while. But she just can't see that the situation is dangerous and self-destructive onto her because she has been bewitched. She can't think, she hasn't become a room plant, but she can't think clearly. That is what it means when you're bewitched. Parts of your thinking are shut down. And in some cases, someone is completely shut down. In that case, someone really can't help what they're doing. But those cases are rare, but they exist. Okay? Now look, individual bewitchment happens, often in intimate relationships. It happens all the way around also that the wife is the one doing this on the husband. Sometimes it's done towards children. And sometimes it happens on the workplace, sometimes also, and in society in general it also happens. But collectively this also happens. It's collective disassociation. Now dissociation is a psychological term, also used in psychiatry, and neurologists also know about it. It's when the brain is overwhelmed by traumatic data. For example, you go through a traumatic experience, something horrible, and it's so overwhelming that the brain is operative. There's still blood streaming in the brain cells and all of that, but in function, parts of the brain shut down. That's how someone can become emotionally numb, because parts of the brain that process emotions are now shut down. It's still operative, but it's shut down, so someone cannot process things emotionally well. If this happens to a kid, often he or she will become an adult and has difficulty in interpersonal relationships because that part of the brain it is there, but it doesn't function properly. Now, the other parts of the brain do work, okay, but still, there's a dysfunction in the brain because the child was bewitched by the ones traumatizing the kid. You get what I'm saying? Okay, now, collectively, this can also happen. The pagan rulers of the world know that you can harm multitudes of people by just violating their collective need for relevance. Because human beings operate in groups. That's how we're designed. We crave and we need social relationships. Okay? So, if the social milieu is violated, the individuals of that social milieu are violated also. So to attack the need for relevance of a population is to cause unsafety in a population, because this violation of the relevance eventually works out in their bodies. It causes discomfort, it causes anxiety. And this anxiety can lead to mental illness, it can lead to people breaking down mentally, but it can also lead to physical sickness and to physical malfunction. And physical malfunction, though to the mental malfunction, can cause accidents on the roads and on the workplace, so people can get hurt or die. So you can cause physical danger in multitudes of people by just violating their need for relevance. To victimize the whole population physically is not possible, because that means you would have to literally physically attack like 1 million people or 3,000 people. Now, 3,000 people, or that's possible if you want to throw a bomb somewhere in a city center. Okay, then that's how you can victimize a lot of people at once. But to get a hold of them, that's not practical. Also, people will be dead then once a bomb has been dropped. So what do? You violate the need for relevance. And by doing that, you cause dysfunction in the community, which will lead to real physical danger and real physical violence, because that's what anxiety does. And when this happens, the people are so overwhelmed by the dysfunction here and there that they disassociate collectively. Now, individually, you will have individuals in that community that still function properly. But they are often not listened to because the rest has become acclimatized to the anxiety that's in the atmosphere. Human beings are mimetic beings. We are mimetic creatures. We imitate one another. We reflect one another. That's a good thing and a practical thing. That's how we build communities. That's how we build friendships. How we build meaning in our relationships. That's how people form bonds with one another. So imitation, being mimetic, there's nothing wrong with that. But once a population has been violated and a population has been traumatized and people mimic one another, that's how it spreads. So the whole community becomes under a thick fog of anxiety. And when this endures for a few days or a week or two, the population disassociates. So the population becomes sick, to say it frankly. To beginning, mentally sick, and this will work out in the body. There will be those that will be able to function properly, of course, those will be there. But in general, people don't function properly anymore. They've been chemically bewitched, or let me say they've been brainwashed. So, when this happens, now the people want to get rid of the anxiety. They only see the anxiety, they don't see what caused the anxiety. And then you come with a solution for the people. But this solution will be pointing the finger at a guilty party. And human beings, mimetic creatures, unconsciously, they will join. He's the one, she's the one, they're the ones, those migrants are the problem, or those homeless people, or those people without a job, or name it. And then when everyone points their anger in one direction, the next energy that's been generated now flows to that direction. And when that happens, it's like this magical relief that happens, and people feel so great. So now they want to make sense of it. But here's the thing, while they were drawn into pointing the finger over there, and that magical release is a real release of negative energy. It's magical though to the intense gratification it gives people. But when the release was going on, people were conditioned into something else. And that's something else, that other program they've been conditioned in, they don't see it. After they get the release, that program's already in their subconscious. So now they begin to act it out. In the case of, well, the parable I gave in the beginning, it was the Chinese Empire that the Manchus took over. And I'm not really sure whether this tradition of breaking women's feet at birth so that they could grow in the formed manner where it existed before the Manchus took over, but under the Manchu dynasty that ruled the Chinese Empire, that thing became common. I'm not saying that all women had it, but, well, to have a woman with deformed feet as a marriage partner was seen as an ideal. Straight up, that's dysfunctional. As I said before in the video, a woman must have both feet in a healthy condition. Every human being should. So, to consider a woman with deformed feet as attractive, it's very weird. Naturally, you cannot accept that. But when our population disassociates, they can't think straight anymore. So now they want relief, they want to get rid of the tension, and while the tension is being pushed away, you condition the mass by exposing them to certain things and to expose them to certain things repeatedly. And in their subconscious, the brain builds patterns to the thing they've been exposed to, and they're not even aware they're being exposed to it. So when the release has happened, what has been built in the subconscious now comes out. And they often not aware it's happening. That's how you can condition people to embrace many destructive things that they normally wouldn't embrace. Things like child abuse, hitting a kid because you don't have your way. Singing is discipline. Well, if your boss would do that at you at the workplace, you would call out the police. But you can't do it to a small human being and can't defend him or herself. Well, I hope this video is clear to you, agree with Christ and be at peace.